All right, we're going to have some good fantasy matchups today, like Chris Godwin versus Darnell Mooney, uh, Kate Otten versus Kyle Pitts, Mike Evans versus Drake London, Bucky Irvin versus Bijan Robinson, and Baker versus Michael Penix Jr. But we're going to get started with a wide receiver number 4, and that's Jalen McMillan. Right, 46th overall finish last year, 8 touchdowns, 5 straight games of 50 plus yards over the last 5 weeks. Hard to call him a fourth string wide receiver. Hodge, on the other hand, for Atlanta, finished 131st at wide receiver, had 1 touchdown, 100 yards, but Pro Bowl is a special teamer. So they brought him back on a 2-year, $6 million contract to be their special teams man. But we're going to obviously go with McMillan. We're going to assign points and figure out who has the deepest, richest fantasy bench. How about backup quarterback Kyle Trask? Didn't get in a lot of action with the year Baker had last year. So he has to prove himself in preseason to beat out Michael Pratt for the backup role. That's what's ahead of him. And of course, on the other side, there's Kirk Cousins. Is he going to be with Atlanta all year? Finished 23rd last year. Gave way to Michael Penix Jr. late in the season. Is focused on moving forward as the season approached. That's a good comment, whatever that'll be. But if he's the backup, and it looks like he might as of right now, we're going to go with, of course, Kirk Cousins. 1-1 tie because has the better fantasy prospects. If he gets traded to another team, it's going to look good. So, all right, and it'd be a need. So, Sean, we're going to go to running back 3, Sean Tucker. All right, we got him, 56th overall, 3.5 points a game, 2 touchdowns, 300 yards, had that one explosive game. Rashard White last year, possibly. So Tucker could be the number 2 after this year. So we'll see how that works out. But on the other side, you have Chase McClellan. All right, 123rd overall, 1.6, just did nothing. 32 yards rushing, right? 2.5 a carry on the limited time he was in there. That might be part of it. Of course, knee injury late put him on IR. Was inconsistent starter or at Alabama. Well, consistent starter. 6th rounder. So you see that Tucker was not even drafted, but has a little bit more. Hey, look at 59 points to 3 points. So this one's going to go to Sean Tucker. Tampa takes an early 2-point lead. We move on to the running backs number 2, and we got some talent here, right? We've got Rashad White, 24th overall, almost 10 points a game. You could play him last year. Of course, 24th if you had to start 2 running backs. 600 yards, 3 touchdowns, a lot of receiving too. One last ride, he texted out. Full season ahead of him to strengthen his stock before free agency. So they chose not to re-sign him, right? So he's going to be, you look at his contract, only $1 million a year. Final year of his 4-year contract. So they're trying to getting by cheap with him as a backup running back. And the talent, Tyler Allgeier's showing some promise here too. 39th overall, almost 5.5 points a game, 600 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's getting underpaid, less than $1 million a year. And contract ends after this year. So both of these guys are hungry. They're going to be working for their, you see that 393 yards, 6 receiving touchdowns. Both are going to be working for that contract, right? And you hear the fantasy average, 9.7 to 5.5. So obviously we're going to go with White. And see if maybe he gets traded. Maybe something happens. If an injury happens to Above, he's, of course, going to just get all the points. Something would happen to Bucky Irving. All right, so we're going to move on to wide receiver number 3. Tampa has that 3-1 lead. Of course, Tampa brings in 19th pick overall, Ibuka. No stats. Ibuka had a chance to get extra reps, though, in the offseason process with Godwin out. And when's he going to start, come back? And Evans, hey, he's a veteran like that's not going to get a lot of action, so he's getting a lot of reps in OTAs. Ray McLeod is on the other side, right? Finished 62nd overall. One touchdown, 686 yards. That's pretty good, too, for a number 3. Posting career highs in reception, yards, and touchdowns. Of course, in the matchup here, you can see here they have Ibuka ranked 54th. And they don't even have Ray McLeod ranked. Similar schedules, 16th position schedule for wide receivers versus the 14th. And, excuse me, and they're both one was the number 3 team in passing, number 5 team in passing. So they both come from good ones here. Of course, I'm going to pick Ibuka. You just don't know how long Godwin could be out, right? He's a slot guy. I believe that he has the numbers of one slot guy, possessing the ability to run very routes. Smith said everyone's really high on him, and you just don't know about. I got him ranked. I didn't have Godwin in there initially. I don't know how long before he's out, but we're going with Ibuka, giving Tampa a 4-1 lead. Now here is Chris Godwin. 58th last year. Was doing great. 500 yards, 5 touchdowns to that ankle injury last year. Right? Puts him out. Tampa said they're going to wait to make sure he's 100% healthy before they put him in there. But it looking like he might be ready for week 1. You just don't know. Right? So we have him on one side, and of course there's Darnell Mooney. Finished 32nd overall last year, 8 points a game. Didn't quite get that 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns. He says it doesn't really matter about 1,000 yards. I came here to win. It's a great attitude. So, hey, they both look at that fantasy average. 12.5 points Godwin was getting before he went out, and to 8 points. But Mooney was here all year. Got a rookie quarterback coming in. You just don't know how long it's going to be before Godwin comes out. If Godwin comes back in, is it worth the gamble? Or a full year of Mooney versus a partial year for Godwin? But with that average and Tampa throwing the ball all over the place, I'm going to go with Chris Godwin as the pick. All right, up next, we're going to go with tight ends. We got Cade Otton. All right, finished 13th overall. Did you know that? 6 points a game, 600 yards, 4 touchdowns. Not quite Gronkowski numbers that they were getting in the past, but hey, coming off a career year, 600 yards, 4 touchdowns, 59 receptions, up against Kyle Pitts. All right, Kyle Pitts finished 12th. 5 points a game, 600 yards, 4 touchdowns. He was the highest drafted tight end in NFL history. Hasn't really performed like that. You can see Cade Otton actually had a higher average, 6.0 to 5 points. So, hell, this is a tough one. Cade Otton, not much is heard about him, but that is a high average for when he was in there. And, of course, we have him as they have Payne Durham here as the other backup or tight end. And over in Atlanta, we'll just probably I'm going to go with Cade Otton. The average is there. He averaged more when he was in the game. They're very similar numbers. And the difference for me here is at quarterback. Yeah, Michael Penix Jr. looked great in that limited action, but hey, one's looked a lot better, a lot more proven. So we're going to move on to the wide receiver number 1s. Mike Evans, of course, right? Finished 7th overall, 11.89 a game. 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. Dealt with hamstring issues, though, the last 3 years. Always set to miss a few games. Drake London finished 6th overall with 10.6 average. 1,271 yards, 9 touchdowns. The Penix and London had good chemistry in those last 3 games that they were going. So it looked promising. You look here at that fantasy averages a game. Of course, you got those. You're always going to miss some games possibly with Mike Evans. Kind of worries you there. All right, and we got a lot more talent at wide receiver this year. Mbuka, McMillan, and Godwin's coming back. I probably against better judgment, some people. Drake London had a great year. Finished 6th overall. And the best ability is availability. Was around all year last year, right? So I'm going to make a little surprise here. Pick Drake London. All right, I don't know. I just have a feeling the rookie, well, not rookie, second year Michael Penix Jr. might laser lock in on his number one target, Drake London. We're going to go with Drake London. And I've drafted Mike Evans the last 2 years. So in my draft, my own fantasy draft. So I like him, but you never know. So, hey, we're going to go with Bucky Irving. Finished 14th overall, 11.7. Kind of a surprise last year. 1,120 yards, 8 touchdowns. Never gets stuck in the past and works hard every day. So he's coming in ready for next year. He's up against Bijan Robinson, though. Finished number 4, 16.5 points a game, 1,450 yards, 14 touchdowns. Ranked in the top 5 of both rushing and receiving for running backs. So you can see that average a game there, 16.5 to 5.8. Robinson just went crazy last year. Healthy workhorse back, ranked number 3 in the league in yardage after contact. Hey, may focus on him a little bit, but obviously we're going to go with Bijan Robinson. Tightens it up to a 9-7 score. It's gonna come down. Hey, if you give me a thumbs up if you like my Tom Landry suit. Were you able to pick out whose suit I'm wearing? Tom Landry's. All right, we got Baker Mayfield last year. Finished 3rd overall, 18.8 a game, right? 4,500 yards passing, 41 touchdowns. Weapons galore is what I got written for him. He just got so many weapons. Things are looking promising for him and Tampa's offense. Michael Penix Jr. comes in. Had a great 3 last games here. 7.8 average. So, well, he got in games other than before that, so it brings down that average. 3 touchdown passes. He's gonna, like a rookie, can he meet expectations? He did play those 3 games. So, hey, we'll see how he performs there. Raheem Morris needs him to perform. If you look at this 38% record, it's not a very good record. So we'll see what happens this year if Michael Penix doesn't perform. And, of course, we're going to go with Baker Mayfield. And that puts Tampa in the lead. Tampa wins 13-7. All right. Hey, hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. Going to be going through these teams. Get ready for the fantasy football season. Take a look at this.